What's up, beautiful? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Lisa May, and this is Thinking Beauty, where we dive into all things politics, pop culture, and personal development. So this week, I'm back with a personal development video where I want to take a little bit of time to encourage you to do a fast. If you are feeling like you're struggling with something that feels pretty immovable, you don't know what to do, you're kind of at your wit's end, like everything that you've been trying to do just isn't working, and you're just starting to really get down on yourself, you feel yourself being far away from God, you don't know what to do, I really want to encourage you to fast. So in this video, I'm going to share my experience with you and just why I think you should do the same. So like I said, if you've been struggling with that, you're kind of at your wit's end and you don't know what to do, then definitely keep on watching. So let's start out with, what is a fast? Fasting is the act of willingly going without food, or sometimes both food and drink, for a specific duration and typically for a particular purpose. So for me, fasting is an act of worship and devotion, and I recently found that it's the best way to reset. Fasting is important because it's an act of surrendering to God and being vulnerable in His hands and really allowing His will and His way to have its perfect work in your life. And it really is a blessing. You know, like I feel like the blessing is just being able to hear from God. Personally, I find that to be something like that's very important and very valuable to me. And so basically, I'll share my experience with you with fasting. So basically, December of 2024 and January 2025, both of those months, I did a 21-day Daniel fast. And what led me to do that fast is pretty much the whole year of 2024, I was absolutely miserable. Like, absolutely miserable. I've never been that miserable in my life ever before. And I've never really had like a peachy, like a peachy perfect life. You know what I mean? Like my life has been full of struggles like all the time, you know? But 2024 was the most miserable year, the most miserable I've ever been in my life. I was miserable at work. I was miserable in my life. I was miserable with like my friends and people, just like everything. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I was literally miserable. And one day one weekend I was in here and I probably was like trying to clean up or do something. And then like literally all of a sudden I just like stopped and fell down in the middle of the floor. And I was just like, God, really? Like, what are we doing? Like, please, like, please hear my cries. Please understand that I am so serious, you know? And in that moment of just kind of like breaking down and like really surrendering to Him and asking Him, like, please, 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 just tell me, what are we doing? What is happening here? Like, just please. He led me to Daniel 10. And when He led me to Daniel 10, I immediately, like, my spirit just immediately recognized, like, okay, I think God is leading me to do a fast, because I had, you know, heard other people say it in like videos I watch and things like that. And I knew, like, okay, yeah, fasting is good. I haven't done a fast. You know, I've done fasts in my life before, but like, I just really knew, like, okay, He's calling me to do a fast. And so I think this must have been this has to be like around the middle of November. Probably, yeah, it had to be like the middle of November towards the end of November. And so that's when I said, okay, starting December 1st, I'm going to do a 21-day Daniel fast. And I did it. And let me tell you, a part of it, it was kind of really hard. My biggest hesitation in doing a fast was the times that I have done a fast in the past. I noticed that, I hate to say this, but I think I tend to get a little like self-righteous. So when I do a fast and I'm like, you know, trying to do something good, I'm not eating food, I have a very low tolerance for like BS and things that aren't on that same wavelength, you know? And I feel like sometimes I can be kind of like stubborn. So if I bump up against somebody, I'm usually not like acquiescent as I normally am. I don't know, I guess because I haven't had food, I tend to be like a little more staunch in, you know, like my position or whatever. And to be 100% honest, I was really afraid to do a fast because I was afraid of that happening, and I was afraid of it happening at work. And let me just say, like, work was a really big point of contention for me. honestly, like work and just like living in Philly in general was like really big for me, but especially work. And so I really was like, okay, God, you know, like I'm gonna do this fast, and a part of me doing the fast, excuse my language, the bitch might come out. But if you want me to do this fast and the bitch is gonna come out, then I'm putting it in your hands. You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird. So I went into it expecting like the bitch to come out. And surprisingly, the bitch did not come out. So I did the fast for the month of December, and then I did it for the month of January as well. And when I tell you that was the reset that I needed, it was the reset that I needed. And it was one of those things where I didn't fully, like nothing major happened. Like there was no big breakthrough or like no big miracle. But the biggest breakthrough and miracle for me is my relationship with my job. So as a result, I noticed that I started to appreciate my job more. And when I say that's the biggest breakthrough or whatever, that really means that like I said, that was my biggest point of contention, my job. So anyway, sorry, I feel like I'm kind of like all over the place. But yeah, so let me just say, so when I did the fast, it wasn't a perfect fast. You know, it was basically where from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. I abstained from eating. And when I did eat, I ate foods that were in line with the Daniel fast. So pretty much like fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, and that's it. Like, of course, like no honey, no milk, no, nothing like that. Like I'll link below things that are in line with the Daniel fast, but pretty much fruits, vegetables, beans, grains, and that kind of thing. I did that. I didn't eat from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And when I did, I ate those particular foods. And the biggest thing that I did was I really just like allowed God, like I said, to have his perfect way and his will in my life, you know? Because like I said, I was really going into it like, okay, God, like this is about to be disastrous. This is about to be a fallout. I'm probably about to get fired from this job. So I'm really putting it in your hands to pick up the pieces, because you know what it is. You know what happens when I do a fast. So if you're calling me to do this, then I'm trusting you to do it. So like, I just really put that trust in him. Like, okay, I'm completely in your hands. And so as a result of doing that first fast, the end of December leading into January, this girl that I follow online was basically saying how she was starting up, she was about to start fitness coaching, one-on-one coaching. And that was something that I had been struggling with throughout the year, trying to get back in the gym and get consistent. And I just couldn't do it. Like I could get in there for like a week, but then I would just fall off. It was just really hard to do. And so I signed up for that. She like even worked with me on the pricing and things. She even worked with me on the price and everything. And so yeah, she worked with me on the pricing. And so I signed up for the one-on-one coaching that started basically January 1st. And so then, like I said, I started that second fast in January. And so basically, let me share some of the results that came out of the fast. Like I said, the first fast was I got back in the gym. I got into a workout community, and that ended up being very beneficial to me. And that was really beneficial, like I said, because it was something that I was struggling with. Of course, that whole year I was really struggling with like despair and depression, you know what I mean, on like a really extreme scale. Like I really want to note that, like when I tell you I cut everybody off in my life, I cut everybody off. Like I didn't want to talk to nobody, and I did not talk to nobody. Like I was like, I don't want to deal with nobody. I don't want to fool with nobody. I don't want to be bothered. Like, cause I was just so angry. And I've told you all before, I am not misery loves company. I am misery likes to crawl in my hole and lick my wounds or whatever. And that's all I wanted to do. And I didn't want no distractions. I didn't want to be bothered with nobody doing that. I just wanted to like lick my wounds or whatever. But you know, that kind of isolation can be like very depressing, you know? And I was very much depressed. And so getting back into working out really kind of like lifted some of that depression up off of me. So yeah, so like then after being being consistent with like working out, my mood improving, then I was able to like focus on my channel. Like, okay, things that I wanted to do, I was able to revisit that and like start planning for that, and kind of get back in that groove. And I didn't like pressure myself, like rush myself, like, oh, I got to do this. I was just like, I'm going to naturally do it. And I didn't realize it, but as I was doing it, I was like slowly kind of like building a foundation for myself. So if you remember, one of the things that I was really struggling with, like since being in Philly, it was very hard for me to like, I don't want to say like it was hard for me to eat food. But it was hard for me to like go grocery shopping, to consistently have food in my refrigerator. Like it was hard to, like it really, even now, it still is a challenge to grocery shop because like the stores are just not what I feel like they should be. And I have to go to like a number of stores or whatever. So like it really is a challenge. But whereas before I could not rise to that occasion to meet that challenge, now I can rise to the occasion to meet that challenge. So, I was basically getting into a schedule and a rhythm and a routine of like going to the grocery store, having food in the house, preparing food. I got to the point where I was able to meal plan and meal prep. And that was like really big for me. I haven't completely mastered that, but I'm like, okay, I know how to do it now when I'm ready to do it. But I was laying like a proper foundation for myself. And because I was also focused on my channel, you know what I mean? I was laying a foundation for myself that would set me up to do those things. And so I'm just like all these things coming together. I was also able to make better choices. You know what I mean? I started to connect with my friends again, going out with my friends, and then going out with my friends kind of led me to just like different opportunities. You know what I mean? And so like I could really see how like A was connecting to B, was connecting to C, was connecting to D, and so on, and that's something that's always been important to me because I felt like I was doing just things kind of randomly hodgepodge all over the place. You know what I mean? But then now I felt like the dots were connected and I felt myself getting somewhere. And I feel like that's the place that I'm in now. And it's one of those things where I didn't realize it when it was happening. It wasn't until I really like started back posting with my channel and was feeling like just, what I'm saying? Like seeing how good it felt or whatever. And I was like, dag, how did I get here? Actually, I'm lying. It was not that. It was partially that. Truthfully, what it was, once I got back active with my channel, I felt so good. And then I was even looking back at work. Now, let me just say, so now this falls at the bottom of my list of like results and impact or whatever. It's one of the big, it's the thing that carries the most weight, but it's at the bottom of the list for me just because of like what it is. So like I said, I named the gym. That was very important to me. Also getting my relationship back with God. So whereas before, like 2024, I felt like so completely disconnected from God. Now I feel back in tune with him. Like I'm not 100% back to where I once was, but I'm like back in that place of getting there, and that feels good. I don't feel like I have any like animosity toward God or whatever. You know what I mean? I feel like if I pray, like he's listening, you know what I mean? Like even if he doesn't answer right away or in the way that I think that he is, I feel like I'm being heard, and I feel like I'm able to hear him. And that means a lot to me. So honestly, I would put that at the top of the list, like just having that relationship back, having joy back. Because again, like I said, I cannot exaggerate enough. When I tell you I was full of despair and depression, I was full of despair and depression and anger and frustration and just like everything, So to have that joy back, to have that expectation back, to have that hope back, that means everything to me. That's why I'm able to even be consistent with YouTube, with Thinking Beauty, because I have that expectation and that hope and that desire back. Whereas before I didn't. So I was just like, what's the point? Like, what are we doing? Like, and I know I keep mentioning or alluding to it, but eventually I am going to put that Christmas vlog together because I think that Christmas vlog does a really good job of explaining how I was feeling, the year of 2024. So basically, just to kind of touch on it a little bit, for the entire year of 2024, when I tell you I was spinning my wheels trying to find another job. First, I started out trying to find this particular job, these two particular jobs, like that I just knew, like, okay, yeah, these, I'm gonna get these jobs. Didn't happen. And then it got to the point, like, okay, any job, whatever, it like didn't happen. And so like really wanting something so bad and it not happening, and feeling like my current job was like the cause of like everything. It was just a very dark place. Like I really felt like I was like in the pits of hell, like 2024. So anyway, I feel like I kind of lost my train of thought, but yeah, I was just like, what's the point or whatever. So basically being back active, I got my hope back, my joy back. That feels really good. And like I was saying, one day what made me really notice all of these things, because like I said, this was like nothing of what I'm saying is like some major breakthrough. The biggest major breakthrough is just like the attitude that I'm no longer in that place, but what made me notice it and take notice of it is I was thinking at my job, there were three people. I mean, a lot of people, definitely three, but there were two in particular that when I tell you I could not stand them, I could not stand them. Like I could not stand them. And then I just kind of noticed, like one day I was like helping her do stuff. The other guy, I'm like laughing and joking with him. And before in 2024, oh no, like I was like, my attitude was like, please don't talk to me. Like, don't ask me nothing, because you don't do, you know what I mean? Like, no. But like, I was helping them, you know what I mean? And I would sit back and think, and I'm like, God, that is nothing but you. Because if it was me, I would give them my kiss, like, that's just the type of time I was on. Like, you can kiss my, because, like you make stuff difficult for me, and I don't rock with that. But the fact that I'm sitting here helping them do something, I was just really recognized, like, God, that ain't nothing but you. That is nothing but you. Like you are clearly so much inside of me that is what is coming out of me. Like that kind of like compassion and kindness is coming out of me, because in my mind, the way that I feel about them, like I said, like forget you. So that's what like really made me take notice of it. And so that's when I just kind of took inventory of a lot of things, because I feel like there's a lot of opportunity in front of me right now, and I'm very grateful for it, like very grateful for it. And I think I'm so grateful for it because, like I said, last year, this was not the case at all. Like, so to be in this place and to feel like I have opportunities in front of me and to feel like I'm capable enough to show up for them, that just means the world to me. And, like I'm not oblivious to the times. I know that times are hard for a lot of people. Like it's a lot going on in the world. I know that there are people, especially women right now, who feel the way that I felt last year, And so that's why I really, actually, to be 100% honest, it's not even that I wanted to make this video, but once I had that realization, I really think God was like, I need to share that with people, because like I said, there are people right now where I once was last year. And if you can really get my drift without me like saying, like if you can read between the lines of when I'm telling you I was really full of despair and depression and anger and frustration last year, of course that naturally leads into other things, if you get what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? I was really feeling that. And there are some people who feel that and act on it. Thankfully, I did not, you know what I'm saying? But I understand that's a very real feeling. It gets really heavy. You know what I'm saying? When you really feel like you're living in the pits of hell, that's heavy. That's real heavy. And so I know how that can feel, like things are not moving and you feel far away from God and you can start thinking about other things. I just really want to encourage you to fast. Just turn your plate down for God, because it really is the reset that you need. I'm telling you, And again, it's not like some big major breakthrough is going to happen in the sense of like some big miracle overnight, but you're just going to look up one day and be like, oh shoot, I'm not in that place no more. Like I'm in a different place, So yeah, I really want to encourage you to do like the positives and the benefits and outcomes after fasting for me. But like I said, the first thing was I got back right with God. I got my diet, nutrition, and my fitness together. And got like a routine together. That was amazing. That is amazing. I'm back active with Think and Beauty, which is amazing. I have more of a stable home life, which is so important. And like I said, I began to appreciate work more, and I feel better adjusted at work. And I actually appreciate my job a lot more than what I did. And like I said, I'm gaining a proper foundation to really sustain like my efforts and my endeavors and the things that I want to do. And like I said, I got my discipline back, and I got my hope and my joy back. And that is so important. And like I said, I'm just really grateful to be in this space. And so I just want to encourage you that if you are going through something and you just feel like it's too much for you to handle, like just really think about fasting. And you can fast however you need to fast. Like I would really encourage you to do the Daniel fast. That's something that really works for me. Like I know some people do all kinds of fasts, but I really want to be clear. And I think I said it at the beginning of the video. What I'm talking about is not a fasting like, oh, I'm fasting from social media. Like I'm not going on social media. I've done that before too, but that's not the kind of fasting that I'm talking about. Like to me, that's just like a exercising your discipline kind of thing, but like really abstain from food. Because the thing is, when I said that you're being vulnerable in his hands, you really are vulnerable in his hands, because you're not going to have energy. You know what I mean? When I did that fast, I had no energy, like no energy. People would come in my office and be talking to me or whatever, and I'm just looking at them like, hi. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have the energy to engage with them the way that I did. But yeah, the biggest thing is just being vulnerable in his hands, like, and really trusting him to guide you through that process. And it's something about you doing that for him. It's almost like a I don't want to say double-edged sword or whatever, but it's like a dual kind of benefit and occurrence thing that's happening. So like on one hand, okay, so you're abstaining from food, you have no energy, like you're really trusting God to do this thing for you. And in the process of you doing that, like you're doing it because of food and energy or whatever, but depending on him that way and like putting your trust in him, it's almost as if it counts for so much more. So like you're doing it in terms of food, but without even knowing it, you're doing it in a holistic kind of way. And I think that means a lot to God. And I truly think that the biggest thing that comes out of it is, and the Bible talks about this, if you read the Bible, like you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. You know what I mean? The Bible talks a lot about that. And I feel like that is the biggest thing that a fast can give you, is it gives you those eyes to see and those ears to hear. Because like I said, after doing that fast, I just started to see opportunities differently. I started to make better choices. I started to say yes to opportunities. And those opportunities that I was saying yes to, like then led to something else that was just as beneficial. Like, so I can give you a perfect small example. So one of the things that I've always wanted to do is film in a gym. I've always wanted to incorporate like fitness into like my vlogs and my videos and things like that, filming in the gym. But I've never taken my camera to the gym to do it. You know what I mean? I've always wanted to do it, but I've never done it. So when I signed up for actually a new coaching community or a new fitness coach, one of the things that she really encouraged to do is like, okay, film yourself doing this workout and send it to me so that I can correct your form. And so when I was telling my boss about it actually, and she just gave me a tripod, you know what I mean? So like, because she gave me the tripod, the coach was requiring me to do this. So then I had no choice but to pull out my camera in the gym to set up to get the video. You know what I mean? And so in doing that, that kind of pulled me out of my shell, or at least got me comfortable with the idea of filming or vlogging in a public place, like, and not caring what people say. Because if I would have tried to done that just to do it for a vlog, I could have very well been too nervous to do it. But because I had to do it for this coach, like I had to kick all, like, who cares about nerves? Like, I got to show her this video so she can tell me if I'm doing this thing right. But in the process of doing that, I got comfortable with that. So now I have no problem going to the gym and pulling out my tripod and like filming myself, you know? So just little things like that, like being like one opportunity leads to another thing, you know? And then I can even give you another example on that same line or whatever, which is still kind of the same thing. But being able to, like, going to the gym, being able to do, or being called to do a workout that I've never done before or whatever. When I go into it, when I was going into it, I was noticing like my reaction to the workout, and I was able to see like, oh, that's my reaction to new things when new things come at me in life. You know what I mean? So God was able to show me, yeah, like this is your attitude and your response to things. You know what I mean? Like you see something, you get intimidated, then you don't want to do it. And you're ready to like go the other way or get angry or whatever, yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? He was able to show me that just from a workout, you know what I mean? But in order for me, but I had to have the eyes to see, the ears to hear, and like the spirit to be able to recognize that. And that's what fasting gives you. So again, and let me just say, it's probably obvious, this was not a scripted video, which is why this video is probably so long. And I'm going to have to edit this thing, and it's going to be like a lot, but it's okay. It's worth it, because I really didn't want to like script this out, because I really wanted, you know what I'm saying, God to just really speak to me and really get the message across that he wanted to get across. And so again, I really think that is just to encourage you to really turn your plate down, just like really trust God in that moment. You know what I'm saying? For that extended period of time, like show him that commitment and just really allow him, like I said, to have his perfect work in your life. Like allow him to have his will and his way to have its perfect work in your life, because that's more valuable than anything. Like I promise you, that's more valuable than somebody giving you $100,000 check or $1 million check or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you gain the eyes to see and the ears to hear, you know? And if your heart is truly beating for God and you have that, oh honey, you unstoppable, like $1 million. You know, like that's chump change. Like you got the whole kingdom resources and access. You know what I'm saying? So I just really want to encourage you. If you were truly feeling the way that I felt last year, turn your plate down, whether it be for 3 days, 7 days, 10 days, 21 days, 40 days, like whatever is in your capacity to do it. And again, just really allow God. And one thing I really want to stress too is, I don't really know where you really fall with your faith or whatever, but, and I think I've said this on this channel before, but be real with God. Like, be honest with God, seriously. Because I'm telling you, the way that I just said that to you, I said that to God. And I don't say that disrespectfully, but I was real with God. Like, okay, God, if you want me to do this fast, the bitch is about to come out. So I need, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm putting that in your hands. You're going to have to deal with that. I'll do it. But, you know, you handle that, because this is what's about to happen. You know what I mean? I was very honest about that. And like, again, surprisingly, like the bitch did not come out. I almost kind of feel like, does the bitch still live there? You know, like, I don't even think the bitch lives here anymore, you know, like, cause I was truly, I don't know. I just was not, I was not how I thought that I was going to be. I was a lot more patient. And I just truly felt like, I was just sitting in the palm of God's hands, and I was like resting. And I feel like I could even cry right now, because that means so much to me, because I didn't feel that at all last year. So just to feel like I was sitting in God's hands resting and having him like protect me, you know, and like really be setting me up for this moment, even right now. It's just like, it's overwhelming to me. It's overwhelming, and I'm really grateful. And I just really want to share that with you. So Yes, I probably have repeated myself 20 times. Now you all see why I script these videos, even though I do not like to. So I script my videos, but I do not really like to script my videos because I don't like the way that they sound to me. They don't feel, to me, they don't sound natural. But the reason why I do is because, as you see, the way that I speak naturally, I speak really fast. Sometimes I struggle to find my words. I kind of go all over the place. I repeat myself, and that becomes a pain in the editing process, especially when I don't have a whole lot of time to really sit down and edit this video. If I have a video that is exactly what I'm supposed to be saying, and because of the way that I scripted, I'm forced to read a little bit slower, you know. It's very easy in the editing process, so I can just edit it and go. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Again, like I said, I just wanted to really encourage you. And yeah, that is it. So yeah, until next time, thank you so much for watching. Sorry if this video was long, but hopefully you found it valuable. Hopefully it really, just speaks to your spirit, speaks to your situation, and really leads you to do that, because I promise you, you won't regret it. Because again, the biggest thing that's going to come out of that, the two biggest things that's going to come out of that, apart from you just sitting and resting in the palm of God's hands and just being able to experience what that feels like, the biggest thing is that it's going to give you the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And so whatever that situation is, you're going to know what to do. It's just going to happen. And it's going to happen before your eyes. You're not even going to realize it, And again, like I said, it's not going to be some big breakthrough thing, you know what I mean? Some big miracle overnight, which it very well could be. But the biggest things is that you have the eyes to see, and you have the ears to hear, and you have the spirit to be able to receive, and you know what to do. And those dots will just connect, and that will be so beneficial to you, okay? So I know it might seem hard right now. It might, I don't know. I know it seems hard. I promise you, I know it does. But yeah. And then also, let me just say, in addition to doing that fast, again, whether you do it for 3 days, 7 days, 10 days, 21 days, 40 days, however long you do it, I would also encourage you to get back active, because that was the other big thing that led to where I am today. Getting back active, moving my body, really taking care of my temple, exercising my temple. I think that really played a major part. So however you can, start, get active, whether it's walking 10 minutes every morning, just whatever you need to do. Just find a way to get active, get back in the gym, just whatever. Just get back active, move your body, and that's really going to help too. That's really going to lift your mood, and it's going to make a world of a difference. So yeah. Until next time, beautiful. Lisa May here saying peace, love, and blessings.